world moves fast. Your workday, even faster. Pitching products, drafting reports, analyzing data. Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI assistant for work. Built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other Microsoft 365 apps you use. Helping you quickly write, analyze, create, and summarize. So you can cut through clutter and clear a path to your best work. Learn more at Microsoft.com/M365 Copilot.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
AI is incredible. It can teach you how to fry an egg and even write a poem, pirate style. Yarr! But it knows nothing about your work. Slackbot is different. It doesn't just know the facts. It knows your schedule. It can turn a brainstorm into a brief. And it doesn't need to be taught. Because Slackbot isn't just another AI. It's AI that knows your work as well as you do. Visit slack.com/meet Slackbot to learn more.
Welcome back to the Infinite Rabbit Hole. I'm your host, Jeremy, and tonight it's just going to be the three of us, Jake, Jeff, and I. And we're going to dive into a subject that I have been plagued with as of recent. Been hit from all sides. And I think it's about time that we here on the Infinite Rabbit Hole take a shot at it and talk about it. Now, I don't know if the evidence is really that strong, but at least I think it warrants a heavy conversation from your host here tonight. Before we do that, let's go ahead and check in with everybody. Jake, how you doing, bud?
I'm tired, but I'm all right. I did some shooting today. Whitney shot out a group text to all of the ladies in the book/wine club in the neighborhood, and apparently the only people that weren't included in that text were the people having a baby shower with 60 people at their house right next door to me. So when I was lighting off rounds with an AR and my Glock, apparently they were wondering where the heck they were at and all this sort of stuff. And I definitely got an earful from my neighbor, and I felt terrible about it. So I had to bring him some venison sticks and some syrup as a peace offering. But yeah, not bad. Had a good weekend. Hung out with some friends. We had several of our coworkers over last night and did some dinner and played some games and barbecued and did a fire and all that sort of stuff. So it was pretty nice. Yeah, ready to hear what you got for me today and hopefully not have a massive argument like we're prone to do.
I don't think it's gonna. I really don't think so. I think it's gonna be a fun conversation.
I don't know. It might devolve into an argument. It's always possible.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
El Jefe, how's life, dude?
It's all right.
I see you're all relaxed and chilled out. And you want to go ahead and tell us a story about your new condition?
Condition?
Yeah. You're all
the
laid
herpes
back.
or whatever.
You got some kind of like casting couch thing going on over there.
Yeah, me and Billy Bean here. We're doing the thing. No, I just the
You're
desk.
doing the thing with your cat? That's messed up.
No, the desk was in the middle of the room before, which, kind of sectioned off the room. And we had this couch on the other side with the record player and stuff. But we decided to kind of shift things around, open the room up, zoom out all the way. They could see. We got the record player, and then over there is like the desk with all the gaming stuff. So it was just easier. And this is more comfortable. Since you schmucks like to keep me up late, now I could just lay back. I could fall asleep on this couch. You guys won't even know.
You'll have
Because
no
you don't say
fucking
anything anyway.
idea. But I'll be.
No, I think he's going to have plenty to say tonight. I think this is going to be a Jeff heavy episode.
Yeah,
I have a feeling.
He'll say 5 sentences tonight.
Probably. That would be considered a Jeff heavy episode.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the topic tonight is, like I said, a topic that has, I don't know, for some reason, it's just been around me a lot lately. And I felt like we needed to talk about it. Again, I don't have a huge grasp on it, but I have enough to where I feel like we can hold a conversation. And I'm curious if either of you guys have heard it yet. But the basic gist is that Y2K actually did happen, and we are living in an AI created universe right now, or generated universe right now. And I know at the surface, this looks kind of tough to believe, right? It doesn't make a lot of sense. We'll get into some of the evidence and everything behind it. And trust me, I wouldn't just bring it up just to talk about it, but it's definitely got some interesting evidence. We'll start off with, have either of you guys heard of anything to do with this at all yet?
With just Y2K in general?
Y2K actually happening. Okay. And it's not necessarily Y2K in the sense that everyone thought it was. So just to kind of go over the general sense of what everyone believed Y2K to be, was basically, it was a storage issue or a memory issue on computers. Okay. The date format on computers, forgive me, everybody, I don't know the exact stuff. Okay. I don't know if it was a Microsoft thing, an IBM thing. I don't know. Okay. So somebody out there is screaming at their radio or whatever, their
radio,
their Spotify or their record player right now.
Yeah, they're screaming at their black and white TV.
They're like, this guy's an idiot. You know, it was whatever. It doesn't matter. Details, right? But the format was how a lot of people are familiar with date formats, right? 2 numbers for the month, two numbers for the date or for the day, and two numbers to represent the year. Now, from December 31st, 1999, when the clock struck midnight, it would roll over to 00, and everyone was concerned that the computers would roll over to the year 1900 instead of the year 2000. And this would cause and I know on the surface, this looks very innocent and it's not really a big deal. But when you go and you look at how a lot of the infrastructure was set up around dates, this would cause a lot of confusion in a lot of our automated systems, which would cause a lot of issues in processes around the world. And that was the true fear behind Y2K. But this theory twists that, and it creates a theory saying that Y2K actually did happen. And there is an alternate theory. We'll kind of jump into that here in a little bit, but we're just going to stick to the Y2K part of it. That Y2K did happen, and that the end of human civilization as we knew it prior to December 31st, 1999 at 11:59 p.m. is over, is done, and we are living in an AI simulated world. So does any of this ring a bell for you guys?
I mean, like all the way up until the last assumption, sure. Yeah, like all of the Y2K stuff, you know, I remember all of that pretty much, but this idea that like it happened and we're living in an AI simulated world seems to me, my first thought is this is one of those times where we're watching conspiracies kind of like evolve, if you will, or merge together. And I have like this weird feeling about it. It makes me feel ick in a weird kind of way. Mm-hmm. It's like when you see young people, right? They'll take a conspiracy that we've all talked about for 10, 20 years, right? And they'll take it and like their like final conclusion of the thing is just like ridiculous. And it's like, bro, come on, man. Like you had me all the way through until like, and now we're in an AI simulated universe because of the Y2K thing. And it's like, all right, bro, like you mixed the Matrix with the Y2K and you just created this thing.
Cool.
I don't know, dude. You guys are crazy old. Jeremy, you're mid-30s. Jeff is in mid-40s. I was 9 years old when Y2K happened, so I don't remember any of that stuff. I didn't care. Come on, Jeff. You look... It's like city miles are one thing. You look like you're driving with the e-brake on. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so...
I think you're beautiful, Jeff. I'd kiss that bald head.
Listen, I see a lot of people that are my age, and I tell you right now, I definitely look a little better than most of them. I'm grateful.
Mid-40s? Yeah, probably.
I'm grateful.
So anyway, or late 40s probably. Early 50s?
He's younger than I am.
Jeff is crazy old. Anyway, so... no, I haven't heard about any of this stuff, but I mean, we had Rizwan Virk on, and he's all about the simulation theory and all that sort of stuff. And there's plenty of people that believe that we're in a simulation anyway. So if we could tie it into Y2K, then sure, why not?
Okay.
Do I think we're in a simulation? No, but if we are, my simulation sucks.
Yeah, that's just lazy to me, right? To just tie simulation theory into Y2K to me just seems lazy. Now, maybe there's a good argument for it that I'm not aware of, but just my first reaction.
Jeremy's going to lay it out.
Sure,
lay it out on us.
I will.
Sure. My first reaction.
I want you to remember that lazy word.
Okay.
Go ahead. Finish your thought, but I want you to remember that.
That's it. It just gives me the ick. You know, it just feels. Yeah. It feels like.
That's a very boomer thing to say, Jeff.
It gives me the ick. I don't like it. You know? It does.
Jeff's
I don't know how to
by AI images.
I don't know how to explain how I'm feeling or how this thought is that I have sometimes when I hear people talk about conspiracies. It's just it gives me this weird fucking like you're an amateur, you know. But go ahead.
He's like, I've been hated on by people for years, and you're just now discovering it. Screw you.
Now, before we dive into some of the evidence and everything, I just want to go into the alternate thought in this whole theory, conspiracy, whatever you want to call it. The alternate version of this is that the Mayan calendar was correct and that the end of human civilization as we know it before it changed into an AI simulated universe was December 12th, 2020, or was it December 21st, 2020?
2012. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. December 21st, 2012,
right.
The end of the Mayan calendar.
Yeah.
So either way, pick your poison. They're the same. Okay. The concept is the same. It's just your end date that's different. Now, I feel like the evidence better backs the 1999 theory. And there's one reason behind that. And that's because of the movie The Matrix. Now, I want to talk about, before we get into that, I want to talk about the point that Jeff was talking about, the laziness. Now, AI has really come onto the scene lately. Okay. It's really made a big splash, especially with AI imagery. Now, over the last couple of years, we've had ChatGPT come out. We've had voice deepfakes come out. We've had a lot of different really cool things hit the market AI-wise. One thing that I think we can all sort of agree on with AI is it tends to be a bit lazy. It does some really cool things, but it gets a lot of things wrong. It is imperfect. We agree on that, right?
Mm-hmm. 6 fingers, or maybe that is right.
Maybe it is, right? It's still in its infancy, right? So it's still getting things wrong. It tends to look to the past and continues to make mistakes that it's made made wrong multiple times before. It still isn't perfect with simple commands. Now, I want to take that and I want to apply it to this theory. Okay. The major the major evidence from this theory comes in everything outside of technology. Now, if you take the point of time that is January 1st, 2000, and you look from that point on, where has the major improvements been, right? It's been in technology. And that's pretty much it. We've had some medical innovations. We've had some scientific innovations. But when you come to architecture, when you come to things like fashion, pop culture, anything that's truly human, there's been nothing. Ever since 2000, we have had repeated remakes of movie after movie after movie after movie. We have had every single fashion that has come in and out since we created fashion as a species has come back. Now, if you look at the past and you look at the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, each and every one of those decades had its own established fashion. You had the grunge lifestyle of the 90s, punks. You had the hair part in the middle of the Backstreet Boys and Hanson, right? And then you had the 80s, the neon, the whatever else 80s had, right? That the 80s stuff. Then the 70s had the hippie lifestyle, the peace and love movement, the browns, the earthy greens, oranges, and maroon brick reds. Then you had the 60s, 50s. Okay. A lot of things existed that you just didn't see repeated for decades until we got back into the 2000s. When has a unique style arisen since the turn of the century?
You got the screaming green and blue and pink haired liberals nowadays. So, I mean, I guess that's the thing.
That's also been there in the 90s during the grunge stages.
I don't know. That's not a good enough.
No,
for me, but
I get it. But what does AI do? AI recycles. AI is lazy. If you go into a mall today and you look at all the people that are in a mall, what do you see? You see styles from every single decade from the past, from the 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s. You see it all. It's all there. You see exactly what AI would do. It would take those styles because that's what it has to learn from. That's what it has to use. That's the tools that it has. AI is not good at creating new. AI is good at recycling old to create something that is perceived as new. That's what it does. Now, AI is good at improving itself, and eventually it gets better. That's why we have ChatGPT 3, 4, right? That's why Grok has a brand new updated version of itself. Okay. They get better. It happens. But when you have something that's truly human, something where AI really can't improve, such as a script for a movie. When was the last time a truly unique movie came out that just blew everybody away? Since 2000. I mean, I'm sure Skeeter could probably name a few of them. There may be a few of them. And
White House Down.
And I'm sure AI can probably spit out a couple of them. But I can tell you, we haven't had a Titanic, right?
Bro, first of all, you don't even watch movies. That's true. There's been a 100%. Shitload of good movies since in the last 25 years.
There's people out there that think that the Marvel movies are great.
There's been a lot of innovative.
Lord of the Rings.
There's been a lot of innovation in the last 25 years that I would argue.
The Lord of the Rings are just movies made of books that were written a long time ago.
A lot of reboots and remakes and things like that, of course, but not all of them, not even close, right? First of all. Second of all, I would argue that what you're talking about with the fashion, it's a good point. I never really thought about what you're talking about, how there isn't really like a new fashion and hasn't been like new fashion in a hot minute. However, I would just argue that it's probably just because of the internet, right? Because there's two things here. Number one, when you're describing each decade and like the fashion and the cultures of that decade, right? You're only able to, you're looking at it through snapshots in history. You only know what the 60s were like because of grainy films that have made it to this far, because of newspaper clippings and books that have made it this far, right? And that's how you base what the 60s were like.
That's how I do.
That's how everybody does, right? Even people who were there in the 60s, your memory is fucked. Everybody's memory is shit, right? So your memory is diluted by all of these movies and shows and things of the 60s and everything else, right? So everybody has this weird grainy version of the 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever, okay? It's not really how it was. It was actually quite similar to what it is right now, with the exception of we've got more advanced stuff, right? And that is why I think that isn't really a good argument, because the AI right now just kind of regurgitates and manipulates old shit to make new shit. And I get where your point is there, but there's been so much new shit since 2000 that's just been completely invented.
Whether you bond over streaming binge-worthy videos, watching sports recaps, video gaming, or by unplugging altogether, the 2026 Lincoln Nautilus Hybrid helps keep you connected throughout your journey. Learn more at Lincoln.com. Available connectivity features and functionality vary by model. Package pricing, trials, and term lengths vary by model. Video streaming and games are only available while parked.
Every sip of Coca-Cola brings you closer to the excitement of the FIFA World Cup 26. Because nothing compares to the joy. So grab a Coke and drink in the FIFA World Cup 26. No purchase necessary. 13 plus in 50 U.S. states and D.C. with a web-enabled device. Ends March 1st with 8 entry periods. Rules at cokeurl.com/soccerrules.
Hi, I'm Jim. I'm not an actor, just a guy living with prostate cancer. My wife and I face each day head on. We asked my doctor about Xtandi enzalutamide.
Xtandi 40 milligram tablets treats men with prostate cancer that has spread to other parts of the body and responds to a medical or surgical treatment to lower testosterone. Xtandi may cause serious side effects: seizure, a brain condition called PRESS, allergic reactions, heart disease that can lead to death, falls and bone fractures, swallowing problems, or choking that can lead to death. Stop Xtandi and get medical help at once if your face, tongue, lip, or throat start swelling. Tell your doctor at once if you faint, have a seizure, quickly worsening headache, decreased alertness, confusion, vision problems, chest pain or discomfort, or shortness of breath. Xtandi can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during and 3 months after Xtandi. Common side effects include muscle and joint pain, feeling unusually tired, hot flashes, constipation, less appetite, diarrhea, high blood pressure, bleeding, falls, fractures, and headache.
Visit Xtandi.com to watch my story.
And it out of nothing, right? That AI, in my opinion, just wouldn't be able to do that kind of thing. It's the opposite of what you're talking about, actually. And
but what? How much of that stuff doesn't include technology?
Well, so
because AI is technology, you have to remember that.
Going back to the fashion, right? The second part of that, like the fashion thing, like because of the internet and the communication flow and all that, social media, just everything like that, right? There doesn't need to be a new fashion sense or a new culture of fashion every decade like there was before, because now all of the world, I can see what the fashion is in Japan and Tokyo right now. And it's going to take time for me to adopt that here in the United States with all my friends and make it popular across the culture here. And by the time that happens, we'll discover that in El Salvador, their fashion is trendy, and we'll adopt that. So instead of having this like decade, like this is what it's like, which is also part of your snapshot history view. But now we're just all kind of incorporating and melding these things in together in real time. So we're not getting the sense of like, this is the 80s fashion, this is the 70s fashion, this is the 90s fashion. We don't have
Jeff's going to get anime eye surgery.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but it's all melding together because of the communication, I think. So you don't have that block, that sense of like, this is what it was like in this time. You know, where's the 2010s fashion? Well, in in the 2010s, we were just adopting fashion from around the world, and it was all just circle jerking around, and we've just been kind of doing that for the last 20 years.
We need to bring back 1930s fashion. Men in suits. Women dress modestly. We need to bring that back. The anime eye trend thing is in the Asian countries where they are getting surgery to make their eyes bigger and like rounder like anime. That's apparently trending. So don't be adopting that because you'll look weird. You'll be bald, nice beard, huge googly eyes. Very strange.
I like it.
Hell yeah.
I like it.
You look like an emoji.
I like it. I think you look great, man. Personally, I
you
think
know
you
what?
should
Do it, Jeff. Go for it.
Do it twice. Both eyes.
Both eyes. Just one eye. Open up your third eye really wide. No, I agree, but yeah, if that's the way it's going to go, because I saw something, geez, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, where they were talking about the 70s are coming back with bell bottoms and things like that, right? Of course, that didn't happen, but at least not to a wide scale. But yeah, if we are in a simulation and it's just going to repeat, then it better bring back freaking 1930s stuff where people are literally dressing up in a 3-piece suit just to like have leisure time out. You know, women are in dresses and stuff, and modest and nice.
But I don't think it would, because let's say that it is AI that's doing it. The AI system wouldn't have a lot to work off of because there isn't a lot of documentation of that. You know what I'm saying? You have to have some sort of documentation of it.
I mean, we've got plenty of movies based in like the 30s and 40s and 20s and things like that.
And you may see a few individuals come out like that.
I mean, I don't hate the thought. Like my whole thing is like, I've said this 100 times, but you know, I do think that there is something hijacking reality, right? Call it a simulation or a matrix or whatever. But like, I just don't think.
I like how she zooms in on your face.
I don't know why the Y2K
really
thing,
close. Zoom in on his lips.
I don't know why the Y2K thing is like so, because it wasn't even that big of a fucking problem, right? So to me, it's like I'm still not buying like the Y2K was the moment. There's nothing there for me for that. Like, because I could make the argument like, hey, some entities or some AI entities hijacked reality 10,000 years ago, and we're living in a simulation the whole fucking time. Like, why 2000? Just because the computers, like because the way that they were calculating dates on computers, which clearly wasn't a problem.
I'm gonna try to bring something up here. Keep talking. Say things.
You know,
yeah.
Or like even the Mayan calendar one, like you brought up, is even more compelling to me because it's like, maybe it's just because it's ancient and it's mysterious, but to me that's more compelling than Y2K was, right? I think everybody was just worried like, hey man, the fucking grid's going to shut off, you know, the stock market's going to crash just because there's going to be a counting error of something. It's not like, you know, nobody got jacked in. How does AI take over on January 1st, 2000 and like change reality because of those issues? That's just kind of where I'm lost, I guess.
Oh, I'm almost there. All right, we'll come back to this then. I'm right on the cusp of finding it. Before we do that, we'll talk about architecture real quick. And I just want to be clear, this isn't necessarily something that I believe. I just thought it was interesting, right? I think it's an interesting topic that we here on Infinite Rabbit Hole can talk about. I think that it at least warrants wasting an episode on to discuss.
Yeah, no, it's a fun topic. I'm not trying to shit on the idea. You know, like I said, I'm
no, by all means, shit on it, dude.
I'm for simulation. I'm for simulation. I'm for like AI controlling reality. Like I'm for all those types. Well, not like for it, but you know what I mean. Like those theories.
He's working with the machines. We can't trust him.
I guess
kill that man.
You know, like there's I don't know. There's just not a whole lot there for me on that front. What would be interesting to me would be like, hey, if there's a counting issue on Y2K and it's a date issue, it's like the computers aren't calculating the dates properly. And we're worried that when it rolls over to 2000, it's going to roll back to 1900. To me, that's like some weird way that they're trying to tell us like that the time is not the time we think it is. It's not the year that we think it is, really. And that was like their weird way of like telling the public like it's not really the year 2000, it's actually the year 1900.
Let's see. Let's go. All right, let's talk about architecture for a minute.
Why are we staring at Jake's lips?
Because Jake wants you to see his lips and he wants you to hear him breathing. Dude, you know how many people messaged me about you breathing into the mic on Asher's episode? It was hilarious.
Do the thing, freaking edit it out. Come on now. You got the tools.
That's work. I don't want to do that.
You got the tools at your disposal. If they can hear me breathing during the episode, that's your fault.
Yeah,
you're the editor.
I'm just gonna watch videos on my phone. Let me know when we're.
No. All right. Architecture. So since 2000, there's been a wave of gray, right? Since the year 2000, and it's funny because if you look at the background in all three of the host studios, you see grays and blacks. That's what you have. And we are perfect examples of this. We have gray furniture, black paint, gray paint. I have some gray bookshelves. You got a gray couch there. And then as a fun addition, a nice thing that the AI simulators have created for us was the beautiful cohesion of gray and black paints with natural wood colors that you see in Jake's background. Since the year 2000, this has been the norm in the human, or at least the American lifestyle. And unlike the decades prior, where we seem to have gone through different kind of color schemes, bright, brilliant colors of the 70s and 80s to something a little bit more duller in the 90s, but still colorful, right? Now we just kind of go to different shades of gray and natural wood colors of 2000s, 2010s, and now well into the 2020s.
See,
this is not gray or black. This is dark ass blue.
This is a good example. This is a perfect example of what I was talking about before, right? Like I could take that same argument that you're saying, right? And I could push it back even further and say, hey, we actually lost the creativity in architecture when we started building these square houses, these box houses, when we stopped building like mega cathedrals and like, you know, these round shape or geometrically pleasing shapes with our houses, like yurts and things like that. However long ago this was, 1,000 years ago, when we shifted into this weird thing where it's like, hey, just build a fucking square, man, build a rectangle and just live inside of it. Like that's when the fucking entities or the AIs shifted our reality. But it could have been 2000 with the paint, I guess.
Yeah.
Side note, do I sound clear out here like this?
Yeah, you sound fine.
Yes.
All right. I'm used to a blue Yeti.
Does that make sense? Is what I'm saying make sense? Because
you know what I'm saying?
You know, this is my point about earlier when I said it gives me the ick. It feels like the light version. It feels like the lazy version, right? Like take it further back, man. Take it deeper. Let's go deeper, bro. You know?
How deep do you want to go?
I want to go back to when they shifted the architecture from great cathedrals to fucking square churches, right? When they took the organs out and they started putting in fucking electronics and stuff like that, right?
That's pretty deep.
Okay, right.
That's like way deep.
Yeah, bro. Anyways, continue. Carry on.
So I'm cruising through the script on my John Teeter episode, the one and only episode that was ever for Patreon. And it doesn't necessarily apply to Y2K perfectly, but it kind of dives into the importance of digital dates. And I'm trying to read through it really quick to see if it applies to why Y2K would be so important. I could just read it aloud and then we can dissect it and see if there's anything there. But I wrote this quite a while ago, so I'm not fully familiar.
Of like why the calculation of dates would be important for what now?
For like why it was so scary for Y2K and technology and the infrastructure.
Oh, you mean like the actual, like the real
Yeah, this refers to a completely different date and a different issue, but it does.
I can tell you right now. I got it pulled up right here.
Okay, good.
I AI'd it earlier. Wasn't as catastrophic as initially feared. It was a potential computer error related to how dates were stored, primarily using only 2 digits for the year. While some minor disruptions occurred, especially in small businesses, there were no major global failures on January 1st, 2000. Blah, blah, blah. In the early days of computing, space and cost considerations led to programmers storing dates with only the last 2 digits of the year, right? Like 70 for 1970. The system worked fine until the year 2000, when the computer might interpret 00 as 1900 instead of 2000. Potential disruption. This could have caused problems in various systems, from banking and finance to utilities and even airplanes, if computers were not updated to correctly handle the year 2000. So like I was saying earlier, they were just worried that the grid was going to go out. They were worried that the financial system was going to collapse because the computers weren't going to calculate the rollover to 2000 instead of 1900. I just think that was more of an occult thing. You know, they were just telling us like it's the year 1900. It's not the year 2000. Like that was their, that's a whole other episode.
All right. Well, then we'll skip over the John Teeter thing. We'll keep that for the patrons. And we'll dive into something that I think you would like, because I know that you like dates and coincidences. Let's talk about really quick. It's there's a number of examples of this, right? I only remember 2. So I'm only gonna be able to spill out 2, and I apologize for coming unprepared, but I think these 2 are pretty important. One is in 2025, sometime in March, the Syrian government collapsed. Do you guys remember that at all? I want to say it was less than a month ago, or it was just about a month ago.
Yes.
Okay. Now, remember when I said AI likes to recycle?
Yep.
Now, in 1925, the Syrian Federation was dissolved and replaced by the state of Syria, exactly 100 years ago. This was a form of recycling information. Jeff, any interest in that?
I'm listening. I'm tracking.
All right. Like I said, I've only got one more example, but there are multiple other examples. I just should have took better notes. In 1924, anti-Soviet Georgians attempted an uprising in the Georgian Soviet Socialist Soviet Russian or Republican Socialist Soviet Republic against Soviet rule. In 2024, again, 100 years, Georgians protested against pro-Russian ruling party Georgian Dream. And then there was something about Tesla. I think it was founded in 2003. And then something about the Ford company. And if we're going by just the 100-year cycle, I'm guessing it was founded in 1903. Just to throw something out there.
Yeah, see, to me, that's a cult. That's like a cult stuff that's happening, right? You ever heard that saying, millionaires read the markets, billionaires read the stars?
Sure.
You never heard that before?
I think I've heard it come from you.
Okay, well, that is a saying, right?
You said it, yeah.
Okay, well, the idea is that, if we all live on this level, like base level reality. That's why we're all just normies and we're poor and we're fucking, whatever. When you get up to that millionaire level, right? Like in order to do that, you have to like have a certain mindset. You have to be aware of like how, like the 3D world works, like the markets. We're watching the markets, right? You're watching the politics, like you understand how to make moves in this realm, right? To get up to those millions of dollars, right? To get to billions of dollars, you have to be on another level, right? You have to be not only understanding all of those things, but you also do things in the occult manner, right? You start your businesses on certain days because there's certain numbers. This is why I was looking up the Chat GPT thing earlier, right? Like, why did they release it on that day, or why did it start on that day? Because there's an occult meaning behind it. There's an energy or a power that they believe, whether there is or isn't, I don't know. They believe that there's an energy tied to starting this multinational corporation on 1903. I guarantee you those numbers, 1903, have some occult meaning. It's not necessarily like a repeat because the AI can't think of anything new. It's because the fucking people who run the world are an occult, and they start these things.
But what numbers don't have occult meanings?
They all, well, not every number has occult meanings. Occult just means like secret, right? And you could just track. Right. So there's just, it's not like there really is or isn't energies tied. That's why I said I don't think there's really energies tied to those days like they think there is, but they think there is.
That's what I'm saying. That's where this is where it's at least interesting to me, because this sounds like something that an AI would do. AIs do recycle. They're lazy, right? They do make interesting work, right? They make good work for the most part. But if you really dissect it, you can see where it gets its influences from. It's not perfect, right? It learns from past experiences. It learns from whatever the input that it's given. It learns from the tools that it has, right? And it utilizes those tools. If it utilizes human history, human documented history, and it utilizes the tool of human documented history, and it uses that to build a world for our consciousness to live in, then it would look very much like what it is right now. Yeah. A very, very confusing world that nothing really makes sense in, that we're all trying to make sense about, where everything just seems to be a mosh pit of generations past.
I don't disagree with that at all. I'm just saying, like, you know, this idea, like just using the example you gave, right? Like Tesla and Ford, right? 2003, 1903. It's like this weird synchronicity, if you want to call it that or whatever. But, you know, there's not just those synchronicities that gap across the 1900s to 2000s. Like, that's not the only time that happens. That happens going back and back. And I'm not the guy to tell you examples. I don't know. But I have heard people break down examples. Well, they'll be like, hey, man, look, Napoleon did this thing on this day. And it was also the same day that, you know, this happened. And the same day that the Knights Templar or the Pope did that. And it's the same day that Caesar did that. You know, so this isn't just something that bridges like this theory where it's like, hey, after 2000, AI is just repeating these things. That's why like Tesla started in 2003, just like Ford in 1903. No. Like go back further, because if you go back to 1803, I guarantee you there's a big event that happened. If you go back to 17.
Your Wish is Your Command is being called the greatest success book of all time, with over 100,000 5-star reviews.
I went from 5K on my bank account to 8 million.
My income doubled.
I was able to retire at the age of 31.
It reveals the missing key to the law of attraction. Your Wish is Your Command is now available on Amazon. Search Your Wish is Your Command on Amazon to get your copy today.
3, I guarantee you there's a bit, so that's my only point.
Yeah, but you have to look at the context of the events, right? The similarities of them, right? So I'm looking at the comments of some of the videos that I've been flooded by, and the posts on like X and stuff that specifically are talking about what we're talking about right now. And another thing that's been brought up is the Great Recession of 2007. What was called the Panic of 1907 was the first worldwide financial crisis of the 20th century. So even the Great Recession was another one of those.
But that wasn't the first, right?
I have no idea, but it very well
like
could have been.
The 1907 wasn't the first. It's not like 1907 happened and then 2007 happened like a repeat. No.
But it could have been the first of the 20th century, right? And then the 2007 could have been the first of the 21st century.
That is where, see, now that I agree with, because that to me is like a ritual that they're making happen, if you will, right? Like every 100 year, every century, they do the thing again, and the thing might be slightly different, and then it might be slightly similar, right? Like, and that's the whole point, right? Is like, so it's not like Y2K happened and made the shift, in my opinion. Could be. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I see it from the lens of like, no, that's this 2007 one was just like the 40th time, right? Like, because you can go back and every single time it's something similar. And you will find similarities. It'll be like, oh, they always use the number fucking 7, right? There were 7 torches at that event. There were 7 birds on that one. And then there were 7 fucking eagles on the, you know what I mean? So like, you'll always find that kind of like repetition as well.
Yeah.
That could be part of the simulation altogether, right? So it's
true. Yes. Jake, you got anything?
I don't buy into the simulation thing. I don't think that if it was a simulation, we would be allowed to do so much stuff that we can do.
You are.
Like, for example,
you could do anything you want.
Yeah, but that doesn't make any sense to the simulation. Like, what's the purpose of the simulation? To, like, if it's like the Matrix, right? You gotta they're harvesting your bodies and all that sort of stuff.
No, they're harvesting energy.
The energy, right? So you wouldn't be able to walk into a shopping mall and start shooting people, because then they would die, and then you'd have to recycle their bodies and all this sort of process instead of harvesting their energy more. Or we wouldn't be allowed to have so much leisure activity. Like, I wouldn't be able to like chop firewood and make syrup and all this sort of crap. Like, I think it would just be business, go home, sleep, go back to work, go home, sleep, go back to work. Like, it just wouldn't make sense to me that you could just like quit your job and decide to travel around the world. Like, what's the benefit of a simulation allowing you to do something like that? Because the Sims don't get to do that, right?
Well, you're the player character. That's the point of the simulation, right? Like, in the simulation, you are the playable character. So you are the one that has the leisure time and the creativity and the freedom to make decisions and free will and that kind of thing. Whereas all of the rest of the people are NPCs, non-player characters, and they are the ones that are stuck in the cycle that you're talking about, right? And in the bigger simulation, that's true for all of us individually, right? That's where you get the new age freaks where they're like, I am God, you are God, we're all God. Like, that's where you get that. Like, they stemmed that off of, I think, the idea that no, like, this is an individual simulation for you, brother. I'm an NPC. Jeremy's an NPC. You're the playable character. And same for me, and same for Jeremy, and same for everybody.
That would be a lot of software computing.
Yeah.
And storage space, if that was true.
An infinitely large, or at least what we would perceive of as an infinitely large universe worth of computing power, right? But that's just your perception from within the simulation, I think.
So you're saying instead of me being the driver and everyone else is an NPC, maybe we're all NPCs, and that guy in Grand Theft Auto 5 that just stands there and says, "Oh, look at the weather. Oh, that bitch," you know, all that sort of stuff. He thinks he's actually living his life, but he's actually not. He's also an NPC, but he doesn't know it.
No, not well. I mean, maybe it could be that. I guess that's kind of a depressing version. What I'm saying is that, like, there's a reality happening for all of us, right? Like, we all live in our own reality, which is true, right? We all live in our own reality. Sure. We all have our own experiences. So, you know, you in your reality are the main character. You're the main character. Right. The rest of us aren't the main character, right? Even your wife, right? As important as she is to you, right? In your reality, you're the main character and your wife is like your companion, right?
Well, that's just describing life.
Of course. That's the point. That is the simulation of life. You know, but yeah, you're the player character. but I'm the player character, right? But Crystal's the player character, right? Like whoever is listening to this, you are the player character in your reality. That's the whole point of the simulation. I mean, that's how it was in the movie too.
I exist out of spite.
That's how it was in the movie too. Think about the guy, I forget his name, the bald dude who like wanted to stay in the Matrix, right? Because like the luxury, and, like, the food tasted good,
stuff,
right? And he was getting pussy and all this stuff, right? He was like, yeah, bro, like I'm not going back to the fucking hellhole that is fucking, Zion. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
I'm staying here. Because in that reality, he was the main character, man. He had fucking armed bodyguards. He was like a billionaire. You know what I mean? Like he was,
sure.
And he knew that. So he's like, I'm going to stay here.
Yeah.
I'd totally take the blue pill. Let's go back to La La Land. I don't eat slop in a cave.
You staying asleep? Well, that's the other crazy part too, is weren't they not even, when they got unplugged from the Matrix and they were in fucking Zion or whatever, like that wasn't even base reality. That was also a simulation. I'm pretty sure there's somewhere in the canonized lore they unplugged from that as well. There's another layer.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Somebody will call me out on that or something, but
yeah. Skeeter call you out on that. Before you jump into the next thing, Skeeter said something a bit ago that was really funny.
What did he say?
We were talking about Y2K, and he said, I was working at a restaurant on New Year's Eve at midnight, and the owner pulled the breakers to freak out some of the workers and guests.
Oh, shit. Got him.
That was funny. That's next level trolling. Before anyone actually knew the term trolling. That's pretty dope.
This guy's video, this is off of the YouTube channel Metaphysical. The video is called "Did the World End in 1999?"
Play it.
Well, the video is well over 45 minutes long, so we're not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But the description of this video is really good, so I'll read that really quick. In this episode, people's appearances: 1950s styles, 1960s hippies in bright colors, 1970s long-haired hippies, 1980s Jane Fonda sportswear and shoulder pads, 1990s grunge and flannel, center-parted hair, and past decades hairstyles, 21st century versus the 20th century, 2000s fashions that never found itself, Hollywood remakes and reboots, creative inspiration slowing down, did the world end in 1999? Brain staying alive for 7 minutes after death, holographic universe theory, simulation theory, frequencies and vibrations throughout the universe. Did the world end in 2012? How the God particle or Higgs boson could destroy the universe, a quantum doomsday predicted by scientists, the end of the Mayan calendar. Are we on a different timeline? I mean, it ties everything into this, right? The Mandela Effect.
Yeah, see, that is an interesting one for me, right? Like if we would have came in hot with like, hey, Y2K is the cause of the Mandela Effect, that could be like a more compelling argument to me.
I'll tell you what though, like I'm
sure that video is dope. Send me that. Sorry, go ahead.
I think the fashion trends of the last decade, it's really the rise of the hipsters. Like if you could really like pinpoint like a fashion craze. Now, I'll play into this whole Y2K thing for a little bit. If in fact it did reset, there's nothing to say that it would reset into the early 1900s where people were clean shaven. The idea of having a beard and being an employee and stuff, actively working and also having facial hair, didn't really become super popular until like the last decade. It's always been clean shaven men and all that sort of stuff. So maybe the reset wasn't resetting our fashion trends or whatever back to the 1900s, but instead back to like square one where men had beards and women didn't, type stuff. men had beards, and that's why the fashion trends of wearing a beard as a man is way more popular today than it was 10, 15 years ago, when it was you have to be clean shaven at work. You have to be presentable. You can't have a crazy Grizzly Adams beard, right?
Right. So before we dive into the topics that were listed on that description of that video, because I'm gonna have to watch that too. I sent it to the group chat between the three of us, by the way, just so you guys have it. Actually, I'll sound off in the chat if you guys want me to post it in the chat too. For those that are watching live on Twitch, if you guys want me to post it in the chat for you guys to enjoy later on, I'll post it there for you. Okay. Crystal said post it, so there it goes. I want to dive into the Matrix really quick, just because this was something that was heavily talked about in a lot of the things that, or a lot of the sources that I came across, or that just kind of flooded everything that I had. Now, again, I'm not a pop culture guy. Okay, I don't watch movies, so me talking about movies is not really something that I even belong in doing. But the argument here, or the theory is that since The Matrix came out in '99, right? I had to fact check that. Turns out it came out in March of 1999. This was AI's first form of communication to the human world, if you will. Because apparently, again, I think I've seen The Matrix. I can't really tell you what the storyline really follows. I know like the general sense of the movie, but I can't tell you exactly how it goes. But there's this one apparently antagonist, AI type character. He's the white guy that's, on the other side of things, that can come in and out.
Bro, you're gonna give me a fucking heart attack. Yeah, dude. Agent
Mr.
Smith, bro.
Jeez.
Okay.
Holy crap.
Agent Smith. Is that who it is?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, so Agent Smith, Stan Smith.
Holy shit.
From American Dad. He's supposed to be the representation of an AI, and in the movie, he says a line somewhere along the lines of 1999 is the peak of human existence. I had to Google that too, because I don't remember that. And apparently he does. That is said in the movie. It's not a Mandela effect. That's a thing. And everyone's ranting and raving about how this was an AI character in the movie The Matrix, being the very first time that the AI, bunny ears, is reaching out to the human population, not the American population, the human population, and saying, this is what's going to happen. This is us telling you what's going to happen. 99 is it.
Listen, man, you got to go watch the movie, because you're just it's not really. Also,
sounds good, man.
In 1999, when the movie came out, 1999 was the pinnacle of human civilization. It was. So there's nothing spooky about that line, because the movie came out then. That was the pinnacle of
I get that.
It's not like they were like, hey man, in 2021 or in 2019 is going to be like the pinnacle of human technology, and then it something like, it's not like anything happened there, right? First of all. Second of all, the movie The Matrix is way more of a like, what's the word, like metaphor for what is already happening, how we're already being controlled, not necessarily like here's what's coming. But you have to watch the movie.
I could say that there's probably a way higher chance that I sit down and watch The Matrix than I watch Star Wars.
You should probably do that.
I can see myself actually watching The Matrix.
You should probably watch The Matrix. You fucking amateur. Jesus Christ.
Damn. Honestly, you should watch both. Once we get up to 150 ratings on Spotify, we'll force you to watch.
But I also said we had to have a 4.8 rating too, and we've been falling. So I don't think that's going to happen.
Why have we been falling? Is it your fault?
Yeah, people. We're at a 4.7. We actually fell. That's like
Go watch it with Skeeter. Skeeter just invited you, and I saw your comment here. You could say the same thing about Terminator. I heard this theory that Terminator and the Matrix are the same. It's like the same universe. That
I also heard that.
Yeah, that like after
I don't get it.
After Skynet takes over and they wipes out most of humanity, and then the Resistance with John Connor happens, and then after the Resistance, when the Resistance loses, the machines take the humans that are left and they put them in the Matrix.
And then they start going back in time to start killing more humans.
Neo, Keanu Reeves is like, I guess, like a descendant of John Connor, or is John Connor, one or the other. I'm not sure.
Reincarnated.
Well, John Connor's an interesting character too. It's JC. It's Jesus Christ. Like, and like, there's a lot of connections there that people have like broken down. It's the story. It's that redemption story, put into Hollywood. But and so is Neo. Neo is the same type of archetype, if you will. That's the word I'm looking for, right? John Connor, Neo, those are the same archetypes that follow like the savior.
I don't know if I could watch Terminator. That doesn't sound very exciting to me.
Terminator's dope. Kenzar, there's no way, with as busy as we're going to be for UFO days, that we're going to be able to have a movie marathon. Trust me. We couldn't do anything last time. It was come home, go to bed, wake up, go to UFO days.
Yeah, you'd be lucky to get like one movie in before bed. We
could probably watch it while we're there, though.
Oh, well, I suppose
it's not the same.
Some
of these movies you gotta sit down and watch, bro. Preferably on mushrooms, but
all right. Well, you bring the shrooms and we'll do a movie marathon.
Well, if just to update everybody, Kenzar is back to coming to UFO days, which is awesome. Jeff is still trying not to go.
Force him to watch it.
I'm probably not going, man. I'm not flying. I'll tell you that, and that's a hell of a drive,
dude. That's BS, man.
Are you flying?
Yeah, I'm flying home for my grandma's funeral in a month. What are you talking about?
Nice knowing you, bud.
You're a piece of shit.
Nice.
I'll say it. I hardly ever cuss on here, but that one was deserving.
Nice knowing you, bud. All the DEI plane crap. Never mind. Let me not get into it, bro.
Jake, you're gonna have to do table duty quite a bit because Saturday is gonna be tough because I'm gonna be doing the bus tours now.
Jeff, you gigantic waste of human flesh in existence.
Apparently,
you're an NPC.
The guy who was doing the bus tours last year isn't doing it, so Amy wants me to do it. So I'm
Jeff,
doing it.
You better freaking show up, or I swear I'm going to come down there and punch you right in the teeth.
Stop licking the pillow.
Look, I'll hang out with Kenzar. We can do table duty, and that's fine. But Jeff has to be there. It's the rules.
Well, hopefully they figure out teleportation or release it to the public by then.
Dang, you're such a butthole. You know that? Do you know that?
It's football season, and you can now get almost anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. What do we mean by almost? Well, you can't get a running back delivered, but you can get baby back ribs delivered. A strong defense? No. A strong deodorant? Yes. A six-pack of abs? Nope. Six-pack of beer? Yes. Get almost anything for game day delivered with Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Alcohol 21 plus and in select cities. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
I told you the next time I was going to hang out with you, you'd have to come down to Florida. I made the first trip.
Well, now you're going to make a second trip because me and Jeremy, I'm sure we could pay for like half your ticket for your final flight before you're dead.
That's not the money, bro. I'm rich.
Before you're dead.
Before you're dead.
All right. Last bit. Yeah, I had a feeling that that Matrix thing was going to be a reach. I don't know anything about the Matrix.
You gotta watch it, dude. It's a great series, and you're gonna be like, oh, this is what all those people are always talking about. It's gonna be fantastic.
I gotta watch the whole series, and now I don't want to do it.
Dude, what is wrong with you? Why do you hate?
Is there a book? Can I read a book?
Yeah, there are.
Yes, there is a book.
Is there really?
Yeah, it's based off a book.
Oh, I'll read the book.
It's not the same.
You don't get the action in the twins with their long
dread. I'm sure the book is probably better, anyways.
And the 1999 graphics of them spinning upside down, shooting and crap, and wasting all their ammo, not hitting anything, but whatever.
I'm sure the book is probably better, and they probably describe the hair better too. But how about this? I'll read the books and then I'll watch the first movie.
All right, that's better than not doing anything, I suppose.
Yeah,
at least you'll understand what the movie's about.
Are there really books?
Because Agent Smith isn't an AI character. No, like the whole Matrix is fucking AI powered, bro. Agent Smith is just a program within it, right? Mm-hmm. He's not even important, to be real with you. If you really want to get down to it, Agent Smith isn't even important. He's not even there, dude.
All he is the voice of the program.
He's just code
to talk to the people who are unplugged. That's all he is.
He's the UI, bro. He's the user.
He's the devil.
He is the user interface.
I don't think there is a book, guys.
Well, then I guess you're watching the movies. Whatever.
Sucks to suck.
All right. What's the final point?
Final point is
there is a book called Matrix, but it's not the same thing.
Final point is Y2K probably happened, but I don't think that was like the reset into the AI powered simulated reality. Stretch.
The last thing that I really wanted to talk about was just it got brought about just by reading that guy's description, and it really had I wasn't going to even talk about it today, but just the idea of the Mandela Effect. I thought that was an interesting thing, because let's say that Y2K did happen in the sense that these people are talking about. That would be a clean break in the time stream or reality stream for something like the Mandela Effect to occur. Something where the cornucopia in the Fruit of the Loom logo to disappear for, various other things. The Berenstain Bears, the Shazam movie, whatever, right? It would be a really good time for all that shit to just disappear and go away. I don't know. I think that is fairly interesting. I thought it would always be a very, very interesting experiment to do, to try to track down, all these Mandela effects, kind of weasel out or, get rid of all the ones that are, all the ones that are kind of, iffy. Like there's a lot, like the ones with like the tack in Kit Kat, right?
Or like Star Wars, like Luke, I'm your father, or Luke, I am your father. It's like, all right, who cares? But
it's Luke, I'm your father, or no, I'm your father.
I would bet my life that Fruit of the Loom had a cornucopia.
It did.
Like, out of all the Mandela effects, that is the biggest one to me. I was like, it absolutely 1,000% had a cornucopia.
I agree.
What are you talking about?
I agree 100%.
It's so weird.
I feel like, and it's not even like I feel. I'm willing to bet money, and other things.
His kids,
not my kids,
See,
but parts of my body, that there was a logo with a cornucopia like that. I can guarantee you, man.
See,
that was a thing.
I'm much more willing to bite on, hey, Y2K, what it really was, hey, we were already in a simulated universe, in a simulated reality. And Y2K was this weird hiccup with whatever, okay, the computing. And because of that hiccup, you have the Mandela effects. That I could get behind 100%, right? Because again, I do think that this weird simulated reality is much, much older than just the year 2000. But because I don't know of any Mandela effects that anybody knew of before 2000. Was anybody talking about this shit? The earliest I heard about Mandela effects was like 2010, maybe.
Sure, yeah.
2012, I think it got big because the Mayan calendar thing, right? And that's when people were like, kind of same thing. They were like, oh, did we merge into another universe with the Mayan calendar? Look at all the Mandela effects, right? Like that was 2012, but it didn't, like, it started coming out like 2010-ish, you know?
Yeah. I think the year 2000, like Y2K, it makes sense, or even the Mayan calendar time frame, like in between that, makes sense for the split where the Mandela effect,
because
transition would have happened.
And it's interesting too, because some people think Mandela died prior to Y2K, and some people think that Mandela died after Y2K, right? So like there is like a weird connection there too, but yeah, I'm more into that. I like that idea that, hey, Y2K was just a weird glitch in the simulation, not the creation of the simulation.
Yeah. Yeah, we should do another Mandela Effect episode. That'd be fun.
There's some weird ones, man. The C3PO with the red leg, or the silver leg, or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, the silver leg, that's what it is.
Well, you guys will have to bring the pop culture shit.
Yeah, you don't even know what I'm talking about. But yeah, C3PO apparently had a silver leg the whole fucking time. And this one really tripped me up because I had the VHSs, like the original VHSs, when I was a kid. And I remember watching them like when I was a kid. And when I first saw that back in like 2010, 11, and they were like, yeah, C3PO has a silver leg, I was like, no, he fucking doesn't. And I have the VHS, bitch. I can go look. And guess what? I put in the VHS and he had a fucking silver leg. I was like, holy shit, dude.
No way.
Yeah, I swear to you, dude. I swear to you.
What?
Yes. Yeah.
I think we actually talked about that on the original episode that we did.
I don't currently have the VHS, so I can't like prove it to you, but I swear to you, I had them in like 2010, 11, 12, and I checked it, man, and it was legit. I was like, wow, like that blew my mind. Because you never know with the internet, bro. People do funny shit on the internet, right? But when you could put in...
What does the chat think? Should we do a Mandela Effect episode next week? If I get lazy and don't get a guest?
Yeah.
We all need to bring examples, though.
The first thing I looked up was C3PO, and the next, it's like the suggestion is C3PO's leg.
Yeah. It's because the AI is listening to you.
Yeah, you're being listened to like in real time all the time. We know this by now, people. The Patriot Act did this. If this is 25 years ago, if you're not up to date with that.
Yeah, and when did the Patriot Act come out? When the AI started creating the universe for you.
In 2003, which is another one of those spooky dates like you're talking about, right? Like 1903, 2003. See, to me, it's just a cyclical reset that they do. And they're about to do another one. Well, I don't remember exactly what it is, but we're at this point, 2030 is the convergence of like 5 major like cyclical resets that happen in society, or like revolutions that happen. Like every 80 years, I don't know. I'm just throwing these numbers out because I don't remember the specifics, but just these are the examples, okay? Like every 80 years or whatever, there's like a technological revolution, right? Like some technology comes out that just completely changes how civilization operates, right? And then every, whatever 100 years, there's like another thing that happens, right? And like all of these cycles are converging on 2030, and we have like all of this new shit, AI and like fucking, crypto shit, and like just a whole bunch of stuff happening all at once, that like we're about to see some weird stuff happen, man.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeremy. Skeeter says the book is called Neuromancer by William Gibson.
He actually just messaged me, and I have that book. I own it. I actually bought it on May 16th of 2024. I haven't read it yet. It's in my library upstairs, and I just told him, I said, when I'm done with the book I'm currently reading, I'll pick it up next. So I have it. So we're good to go. If it's Neuromancer, then yeah, that's been on my to-read list for a very long time.
We got a first-time chat now. I don't know what the heck they're trying to say to me. Google Kieran, a.k.a. Sasuke from Naruto.
Sasuke Naruto. Ultimate move, kind of important. I'm guessing that is a Mandela Effect.
I suppose. I don't know. I'm not the anime guy, so I don't care.
Either way, thank you for the first time chat. Really appreciate that.
Thank you for the chat. Jeremy, you're gonna have to do that one because I'm not the anime guy.
I do the animes every once in a while.
I do not. You do.
I do. Although not too big into Naruto. But I will definitely check on that one. We'll talk about it next week for sure.
Mandela Effect's cool. Y2K is kind of spooky.
Yeah. That's pretty much that's it. That's all we have. Not really an episode with a ton of evidence behind it, but it was a fun topic. I thought that we would get some sort of decent conversation out of it. We didn't. This was like one of the worst episodes we'd ever
Says who?
Yeah, no, this is a terrible episode.
You think so?
Waka Flocka Fool says another week of nothing learnt the podcast.
That's right. Another week of nothing.
I thought this was a great podcast, but apparently Jeremy thought it was the worst one we've ever done, I guess.
No, it's
Jeremy, you're scum. You're worse than Jeff.
Absolutely terrible.
Such a fucking negative Nancy, bro. Jesus Christ, man.
No, I mean, like I said, I think it's an interesting subject. I think if it's got enough information to where if people can come up with better evidence, I think it can hold a flame, and I think that it can at least get people to talk about it. But with the current evidence, it's all it is a fun topic to talk about. But I think that if we can get some more of those 100-year span examples, like the Ford and Tesla thing, I personally thought that was really interesting. The Georgia thing I thought was very interesting. I personally think that the AI recycling information, especially the stuff that's strictly human or human influenced, is very interesting. And then only seeing true innovation coming out of technology, medicine and science really being the only innovation that we've had since the year 2000, and the innovation only coming from things that are not human based. That's interesting. If we can find more examples of that, I think we may be able to build a case. But for right now, it's just an interesting, fun topic to talk about. And I actually think that there's more to talk about there with something like the Mandela Effect than with the actual idea that Y2K was a thing, and that it happened. That's my opinion on it. You guys have any final thoughts?
I'm not buying it. But there is some interesting stuff.
You were a good player today. Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm tired, dude. I'm wiped out. I woke up super early today. Dogs are barking, causing a ruckus.
Yeah. But
Didn't
see,
get
I
my
didn't,
nap in.
I didn't think we were going to argue about that. I didn't see any arguing points on that one.
Next time.
Well,
Yeah,
I had
next time.
fun. I thought it was a good episode. I went down an infinite number of fucking rabbit holes tonight, but it seemed like nobody gave a fuck what I had to say about it, so that's fine.
Oh, come
I mean,
down.
that's what happens. You never speak, and then you expect us when
You
you
know,
do speak.
yeah.
We're gonna be like, oh my gosh, Jeff's saying stuff.
Yeah.
It was going great until you completely stomped out all hopes of you coming up to UFO days, and then it turned into a terrible episode.
Oh, my bad. Even though I've already
screw you,
said this
Jeff.
like
How's
7
that sound?
times now. It's not like the first time I've said that. I'm not.
But then I go all week, and I'm like, you know what? Jeff's definitely coming.
Well,
and
whose
then like
fault is
Saturday
that?
night, I go to sleep. I close my eyes.
Yeah.
I
Boo
have
this
one
man. Boo. Boo,
Boo
Jeff. Boo.
Boo him.
Boo him.
Yeah, you don't like that.
They're
do you?
booing you in the chat.
Boo away. Boo away.
Kid says, won't even come and hang out with Kid Kenzer. Jeff, you're a terrible person.
I'm down
You're
here.
garbage.
I'm down here.
Trash.
Come on down.
Jeff last year, Kid this year, next year though.
I'll tell you what, Jeff. If you come up for UFO days, I will spend as much time as you spent 2 years in UFO days in Florida bugging the crap out of you while you're trying to work. And
I
all
don't
that
want
sort of
that.
stuff. I'm going to.
I don't want that.
I'm going to come over for 7 days and just bug the crap out of you. Jeff, where are we going? Jeff, let's go hang out.
I'll tell
Jeff,
you where
let's
I'm
go
going. I'm going to
fishing.
work. I'm going to fucking work. I'll see you later. All right.
And I'm going to come over to where you're working and be like, Jeff, what are you doing? Crawl into the attic with you. Jeff, let's go hang out. Jeff, let's go fishing. Jeff, I brought you a beer. Jeff, bump a Coke? Jeff? I got you, man. But you have to come over for UFO days for me to do that.
It's a good deal.
Yeah. You will feel so appreciated and loved. And then I'll leave and you'll go back to your boring life and then hate everything again. Be a nihilist.
Excuse me.
I'm just going to see how long you guys will beg.
Crystal, excuse me.
Keep begging.
That's messed up, man.
Keep begging me. It's flattering.
I'm not going to beg you. I'm telling you what's going to happen if you do. If you don't show up, though, you're dead to me.
That's not true.
Yeah. And I'll write T-bone accident on tea leaves and burn them and let them float into the ether, and maybe it happens.
You really do love me. First, you beg me to stay, and then when I say no, then you tell me you to hate me. You want me to go.
Threaten you with death. I hope you die. You leave and burn them and send them off. CJ said it was real.
Typical.
That's messed up. That's messed up. All right. Any parting words, gentle sirs?
Nope.
For not really having a topic today, I think that was I didn't think we had a topic today, so that was a good episode. It's kind of hokey, kind of far-fetched. I think the Mandela Effect thing is probably the biggest piece of evidence, because I think I agree with Jeff that the Mandela Effect, that word or that phrasing, didn't really come about until the last decade or so. And prior to that, it really wasn't a thing, even though we have had, I'm sure, plenty of Mandela Effect type things from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever. But yeah, that Mandela Effect thing is so weird. It's way past deja vu, where you're like, your brain tricks you into thinking that something's familiar. Widespread, people straight up believe that this was the way it was, but it apparently isn't. And when did that sort of concept start? Right, where people were just it's very strange. Yeah, good episode, Jeremy.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Did my card go through?
Oh no.
Your small business depends on its internet, so switch to Verizon Business. And you could get LTE business internet starting at $39 a month when paired with select business mobile plans. That's unlimited data for unlimited business.
There we go.
Get the internet you need at the price you want. Verizon Business. Starting price for LTE business internet, 25 megabits per second, unlimited data plan with select Verizon Business smartphone plan savings. Terms apply.
Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
Año nuevo, los mismos Extra Value Meals en McDonald's. Ahora te puedes llevar 2 snack wraps y papitas y una bebida mediana por solo $8. Solo por tiempo limitado. Precios y participación pueden variar. Los precios pueden ser más altos en Hawaii, Alaska y California y con entrega.
It's given me a lot to think about. Not so much as like whether or not we're in a simulation, but like, you know, why is everything so freaking weird?
Yeah. That was kind of the big point. Was, you know, we kind of just live in this mosh pit of confusion, and you know, that's one of the big things that really stuck out to me about this whole concept was, yeah, it is just like a weird time, and AI does do some weird stuff, and it just feels like this is something that AI would build.
You know,
what about
maybe you're right
instead of like? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say maybe you're right. Maybe because all of our information, our whole society is AI fueled right now, right? Believe it or not, we don't have, you know, social media, the algorithms, all this stuff. So maybe there is like some truth to it. Maybe post 2000, you know, with the internet and all of that shit, like we do live in a fucking weird, you know, hodgepodge era, right? Because of the internet, I would say. And you could chalk that up to like algorithms and AI, right? So there is some truth to that. It's just not so, I don't think it's so like, you know, black and white, like, yo, the AI created a fucking fake reality, like simulation, as much as it's like, no, after 2000, they gave everybody the internet, and like AI has fueled and powered this augmented, like weird reality that we live in now, you know?
Yeah.
So it's more like philosophical, I guess, you know?
I was going to ask, like, so yeah, you're right. There hasn't been really any fashion trends that have come up from the last 2 decades, but what about like TikTok and like TikTok trends? Like planking wasn't a thing in the 20s.
Yeah, but even that all came about by technology. If it wasn't for technology, that wouldn't have come.
That goes back to my other point earlier, though, you know, like, because I've talked about Lucifer's technology, the idea that, you know, some technologies are just developed by whatever, like the entities, right, that are pushing us into this weird, chaotic world, right? And you could call it the AI. You could go back further, say the electricity did the same shit, right? Like, I think that there is a thing happening in, I'm not saying to you, but to the people who are making these videos online about the Y2K thing in particular, right? They're just suffering from the same thing that people suffered through every cycle, every century, every turn of a new technology, right? They were like, oh no, what? The radio? We can't have the radio. This is going to end the fucking world, right? Like there was those people out there. And I think this is like the newer version of that, where it's like, hey man, like AI, like, oh fuck, people are panicking and they're starting to like connect these dots that don't really exist. I think, you know, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
I want to listen to, was it George Orwell, The War of the Worlds?
Yeah.
That radio broadcast where people were like killing themselves because they thought that it was real. I want to listen to that.
Yeah.
When the radio first came around.
Well, you don't
have you never heard it? You would. It's nothing that would trick you, man. I'll tell you.
Well, I've been told, because people back then spoke in such elevated tones. They were like, "Oh my gosh, this is happening right now." Oh, it's like they had a very different way of speaking. I think I've heard that it sounded like a news reporter talking about
Yes,
current events.
It sounded like an old-timey news reporter for sure.
Yeah, I've heard
Which would be crazy.
It's not convincing, but like in the time, right? Because of the
Just
culture.
turn on the radio and you hear that the aliens are attacking and people are being phased out of existence. Be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think that's the weird thing though, just because of the internet, we just interact with the whole world right now. So it's like you're getting this weird thing, man, where like we are kind of all coming to consensuses about how certain things are, right? Like if you look at how we operated in the 30s, right? Like how we dressed, how we spoke, right? How we did those things, it was way different than it is right now, the whole world. And I think it's because we're all connected now, so we can all see each other and hear each other, and we're all kind of like absorbing each other's cultures and shit like that, and it's just like becoming this one thing, right?
Skeeter says social media is a perfect example of monkey see, monkey do. For the most part, yeah, but I disagree with that for myself, because I see all these people with their, all stylish and all that sort of stuff, and I've been dressing in overalls and just letting my face grow out and not caring about anything. So, I mean, in some regards, yeah, but not for me.
There was one other thing that a lot of sources talked about when it came to this 1999 Y2K thing too, and that was the show The Office. Again, not too familiar with it, so I can't really talk about it too much, but the argument that the point that they were talking about when it came to The Office was that when the first episode came out to the last episode, if you looked at the architecture of the rooms there, and you looked at the styles of the clothing and the haircuts of the people, because it all happened after the year 2000, you really couldn't tell much of a difference. And you can't watch an episode of The Office if you're new to the show and tell whether it's an older episode or a newer episode. Like me, I've never seen an episode of The Office, or at least, consciously.
No, that's just continuity, bro.
Supposedly I can go and watch an episode from, like, let's say the 7th season, and then watch an episode from the 1st season, and then watch an episode from the last season, and then the 3rd season, and it would just all look like it's from the same season.
No, you can tell. This is what I mean about like lazy conspiracies, man. Like there's this culture online about lazy conspiracies, and I see it all the time. And I have my algorithms are conspiracy fueled, right? So it's like,
oh, I'm sure.
I get a lot of these short videos where people are like breaking down in like these 1-minute videos like a conspiracy theory, right? And again, it's like, oh, they're going to talk about JFK, and then like they're saying the things, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that tracks, all these points, and then they say something that's just like, whoa, you grabbed that from another one. Like they'll bring in like, I don't fucking know, man, like
9/11,
right? Like, and it's like, bro, you just totally fucking, I don't know if it's a psyop, right? Like if it's paid opposition type, like, muddy the waters even more for the newer generation, the TikTok generation. Right, we don't really want them to question 9/11, but we'll have them question it, and then we'll give them like this other weird fucking theory that Bigfoot blew it up, right? And it's like, but that's the same thing with what you're talking about right here, right? Like these guys are like pointing at The Office, and they're making like this argument, and it's like, well, no, that's not the case at all, right? Or same with Agent Smith things, like, well, no, not like it doesn't actually work like that. Like they're not even trying hard to like bridge these points together,
Yeah. Man, like I said, I don't have a foot to step on. With
I'm not shitting on you. I'm just shitting on that idea. Whoever made that clip that you saw about that, like they were that's a lazy conspiracy theorist right there.
Yeah, I don't even know if that was a clip it came up in multiple sources, whether it was a clip or posts. I mean, like I said, I've just been bombarded by it lately. I don't know what it is about the 1999 Y2K thing going on right now, but like I've seen it everywhere. I've seen it on X, YouTube, TikTok. I mean, it's just kind of.
It's because you watched one thing. That's what I was saying at the beginning before we started recording for the episode. You watched one video probably for like 10 seconds longer than the video before it, and the algorithm just decided maybe he was interested in that. Let me feed him more, and like you got sucked in.
Well, that's exactly what happened, because I did watch an entire video. It was about 5 minutes long, and I was like, that's cool, right? Whatever, because I'll click on things that are interesting.
Yeah,
and I thought that the title was interesting, so I looked at it, and we had just talked about Y2K. What, last week or the week before or something? It just came up and we talked about it very briefly, and I was interested.
Which is why you got the first video.
Probably. Yeah.
That's kind of what I see happening. You know, I noticed this like post-COVID, because pre-COVID conspiracies were like science fiction. It was just like this weird, alt world on the internet. And then during COVID, it turned into like, wait, a lot of the stuff that these weirdos are talking about is actually kind of happening, right? So people started paying, like normies started paying attention, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then post-COVID, it's become this weird psyop where it's like, let's muddy the conspiracy waters because now more people are looking and questioning narratives. Let's muddy it even more, right? So I think that's kind of where we're at right now. Everything is just like this weird, especially with the algorithms, man. Like they are just in AI, bro. They are just, I've seen like AI videos where it's like a voiceover. It's not even a person. It's like the AI voiceover video breaking something down, like the Oklahoma City bombing. And then like, if you had never heard of this before and you watch this video, you'd be like, wow, that was super interesting. But knowing about it, I'm watching this. I'm like, that's complete garbage. This video is garbage, right? And it just makes me think like, what fucking AI psyop social media farm is putting out these fucking fake conspiracy videos?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because all the old conspiracies are coming to be true, and so they need to muddy the waters and get people distracted with fake BS information.
There's certain, in my opinion, and I know that we're probably about to end this, but I'll just rant for one quick second here. I just think that there are a few key points in the conspiracy world that if like the masses understood those things, like the whole thing comes down, right? They don't have to understand the whole web or all of the things. Nobody does, right? You don't even have to be as deep as I am or anybody else. There's like 3 or 4 things. Like if you understand like how the money is fucking you, if you understand how like 9/11 fucked you, if you understand just like these couple of key points, right? Like why did they shoot Trump in the head, right? Like there's certain things, if you understand, then you kind of know, and then the system would just fall apart if everybody knew this. Like nobody would play along anymore, right? So they have to like throw bullshit in there for everybody. Try to get another 20 years out of the shit before, so they could do another fucking mass psyop or something.
Freaking the next, not JFK, but the next thing has to be unveiled for the public.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we made it through an entire episode the same week that some mutated direwolves were born, and we didn't bring it up once. So good job, guys.
Jurassic Park, man. Bad idea. Nobody saw that fucking movie. Remember the second one where they brought the T-Rex back to the city? Bad idea.
Although I will say I did see the Jurassic Park movies. The books by Michael Crichton are way better. They're very good. They're very good.
We get it. You read, bro.
They're very good.
Yeah.
And the Lost World book is not the same as the movie. It's very, very different, and it's very, very good.
It's
very, very good.
It's every book.
No, I mean, like, it's not the same storyline at all. It's completely different.
Fair.
Very, very good. All right. Well, yeah, that's it. All right. We're not going to stretch this out any longer. I've got to go to bed. Jeff's all tuckered out. You can see it.
Very tuckered out.
You can see it in his hair.
I feel good. I've been sitting on a comfy couch.
His hair.
I've been on this couch this whole time. I'm good, man. I'm comfortable.
You can see it glistening off his forehead, how tired he is.
I also took a nap pre-show, so.
Oh, okay. So you're ready to roll. Shit. Well, maybe we'll go for another hour.
Yeah, another hour. Let's go.
I'm getting off.
All right. Well, next week I think we'll dive into Mandela Effect. As long as these guys bring some content, I'll bring some too. But I'm not going to bring any pop culture because that's not me. They'll have to bring that, and then they can talk about it, and I'll just sit here and look stupid. But until next time, travelers, it has been wonderful doing another episode of the Infinite Rabbit Hole podcast. We'll see you right here in the next fork of the Infinite Rabbit Hole. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out the Infinite Rabbit Hole podcast. If you're looking for more of our stuff, head on over to InfiniteRabbitHole.com, where you can find links to all the podcast players that we are available on, and even our video platforms such as TikTok and YouTube. While you're there, make sure to check out all the links for our socials and hit that follow so you know when all the new stuff from our podcast comes out. And until next time, travelers, we'll see you right here in the next fork in the path of the Infinite Rabbit Hole. Bye.